Good evening, guys. Tony back again, Horror in Todge. Hope you're all well on this Tuesday evening. And I'm back today with day 13 of 31 Days of Horror. So I'm going to tell you what movie I watched and give you a little bit of, knowledge about the film and a bit of a review. So today's film is Alan Ormsby and Jeff Gillen's 1974 dark comedy horror, Deranged. So this is a nice hour video edition, and basically all I done today was I had a look at my hour video shelf, and I thought I'll pick a film I never watched before, and I picked this one, Deranged. I haven't seen it before. So it's a 70s movie from 1974, and I'm going to tell you a bit about it, guys. So this one stars Robert Blossom, Corset Lee and Leslie Carlson. And essentially it's a film about Ed Gein. So the guy from Wisconsin in America who was like a serial killer and grave robber, basically necrophiliac, and really strange little sort of film. Really, it was surprised me how funny it was. It was really funny. This guy Robert Blossom, who plays Ed Gein in this movie, but they just changed Ed's name to something like his name's Ezra in the film, because they changed all the names because of the actor for the film. They go through that at the start of the movie. But basically the movie starts off, it's a 70s movie, like I've said a couple of times now, and you've got like a news reporter, and he's like all done out. He's got like his tash and his glasses, big Mac on, and he's like doing a bit of a voiceover over the top of the film, explaining about Ed Gein. So he comes in the scene in the movie all the time. Like, say if he's killing someone or something, he'll come in the scene. It's quite funny when he does that, and like talks over the top, explaining you what's going on in sort of Ed Gein's head. Sort of, it's weird. It's funny to watch, right? And you've got Ed Gein. He's a farmer, and his mum, who's like, she's dying at the start of the movie, coughing up blood and stuff, and she sort of says to him, "Don't you let them women get to you. They're only after your money, and the devil will get you. You're a religious man." And he sort of just stuck with his mum all his life, outside of her room, waiting on her hand and foot really, because she's been bedbound for many a year. Anyway, she ends up dying, passing away, whatever. And then he decides about 6 months to a year down the line, he gets this voice in his head. He starts losing it, and he just decides to go and dig his mum up. So he digs her up, brings her home, puts her in bed, and she's all, all the skin's coming off. Great effects, by the way, for the 70s. It's like, I think Tom Savini's actual makeup effects, I think it was his second ever movie, and it's all the face and stuff's coming off. So he decides, well, I'm going to need fresh corpses to like replace his mum's skin. So he just starts digging up all these bodies, loads of them, and bringing them back home. And he basically just like sets them up all around his house to, like, he says, they're keeping his mum company, and they're keeping him company. He just sort of talking to sort of skeletons and skulls, and there's some really gory bits in it, like this part where he's sort of picking this woman's brains out, and a bit where he's taking a woman's eyeball out. For the effects for the time, they don't look very realistic nowadays. It's more of a comedy thing, I think. But very, very crazy film, and yeah, it just goes on like that. And then I'm not going to get too much into it. What he does, he starts sort of going down the serial killer route, but it's quite comedic. He goes to this woman's house, like who he says is a big woman. He's like, he wants to get this big woman because she'll love him or something. And he goes there, and this woman sort of gets in touch with her late husband who had died, and sort of gets into a body, and then he starts speaking. It's funny. I can't really explain it, but you'll know what I mean if you've seen the film. It's very funny. in that retrospect, but very grisly and grimy, dirty film, if you know what I mean. It's just like dead bodies and stuff everywhere all the time. And yeah, that's basically the story. And this reporter keeps coming in on him, but he doesn't acknowledge, the characters in the film don't acknowledge the reporter. He just sort of takes you a bit out of it a little bit. I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, but he sort of just comes in and starts speaking over the top. It's a strange film. But yeah, and then he sort of starts working for his next door neighbour because he gives up farming, and then something happens with those, but you'll have to watch it. And then there's a few different women on the cards, and he's just a really socially awkward guy. Really creepy looking, you know, a sex pest type. He's really weird, but all in all, not a bad film, not the best film in the world. So what would I give Deranged? It's called Deranged, The Confessions of a Necrophiliac, the actual real name, but nice addition from our video. Watched a couple of things after it with, you know, explaining Ed Gein and stuff like that, so really good addition if you want to pick this copy up. But yeah, all in all, it was not bad, not great, not bad. 5 out of 10 from me. It was okay. It was more funny than anything, I found it. I don't know if I'm going crazy as well, but yeah, I found it was quite hilarious. The guy was quite funny. But yeah, all in all, 5 out of 10 for me. So first time watch, that's Deranged, guys. So get underneath, tell me if you've seen this film, what you thought of it. I suppose in the 70s it was probably pretty hardcore because of the subject matter and the brain scooping and eyeball scooping and stabbing. It was like nice cherry red blood, you know, Fulci-esque blood, that sort of blood. So yeah, all in all, decent enough, 5 out of 10. I'll catch you tomorrow for day 14, guys. Thanks for watching.